So did I overpay for something that probably wasn't worth $30? Yes. Is it a big deal? No. Because you know what? I'll zhuzh it up, I'll clean it, and I'll just donate it back to my local community. Somebody out there will need it and want it and give it a good home.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Melissa. I am the owner and artist here at the Top Drawer RVA located in Richmond, Virginia. And for today's project, we have a simple but easy one that anybody can achieve. This little bench I picked up off of Facebook Marketplace. After a good clean with my vacuum, I'm going to come in and remove the legs to get ready for paint or stain. This little bench is not a heavy-duty, well-made bench. It's actually probably pretty cheaply made and possibly from a store like IKEA, but we can take this and make it better. The wood part of this project is not in bad shape, but let me tell you, the top of this piece really needs a clean. There are stains, marks, and even a small rip that I'm going to have to sew. So let's work on the base of this project together. I'm going to tape the edges of the fabric so I don't get any of the stain on the material. And since I'm staining this small bench, I'm going to need to remove those numbers that are painted on the front. That means a slight sand with my Surf Prep sander. Since I don't want to sand the whole box, that would be a little bit too much effort for what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to sand the areas where the numbers are located. And this is totally okay because today we're going to be using no paint gel stain, and that can go on over top of raw wood or existing finishes.
So what's the plan for today? Well, there was a number 1 here and a number 2 over here. I really want to stain the bottom of this, so I put it up on my workbench, which is already falling apart, so fingers crossed this doesn't fall on me. I've left the handles in the side because I didn't want to take them off, and I've left the hinges in the back because I didn't want to take them off. I did take off the little latch that was on the front that allows this little box to open and close. And we're going to use gel stain on this. Now, why would I use gel stain over top of another product or paint? Well, you know I love gel stain because it's easy to use. This box probably had a finish on it at one point, but not a very strong one because it's looking kind of naked, if you ask me. And gel stain gives me the availability to put a finish on top of an existing finish without having to sand. So I did sand off the numbers 1 and 2 that were here on this box. But using a gel stain product, an oil-based gel stain product, and we're going to be using the color Walnut today, allows me to just wipe it on and not have any fuss about previous finish being a problem. Because you could put this on raw wood or existing finishes. Just know that you need to go a little bit darker than the wood base, and this base of this wood is a nice light wood, and this is walnut. So we're going to darken it up a little bit. I'm going to spray paint these wheels and probably just do them in a black or maybe an oil rub bronze because I don't love the gold kind of thing that's on there. Put them back on, put the hinge back on. I'm going to leave the hinges as is, and I'm going to clean the top of this piece because it's kind of dirty up there. So what is gel stain? Gel stain is an oil-based product. Looks kind of like pudding in there in the jar, right? Dixie Belle has 2 different types of stain. We have oil-based no paint gel stain. We also have Voodoo gel stain, which is a water-based gel stain. The water-based gel stain really should only go on raw wood because it absorbs into the finish versus your gel stain sits on top of an existing finish and gives you a little bit more wiggle room, if that makes sense. A little more cheat factor because I don't have to sand this down to completely naked. So this product will get in your hands and it is hard to get off because it is oil-based. Know that if you're working inside a temperature-controlled studio like this room or inside your home, it's going to dry a little bit faster than if you were to be doing it outside. It's like a humidity-based product, so if you're working in a cold, wet, damp condition, it's going to take a long time for your gel stain to get dry. If you're doing this inside, I can usually put on 1 thin coat and then be dry within 24 hours. Do you have to seal your gel stain? No, you don't have to seal your gel stain. Will I seal it on the sides of this piece? Probably not. If this was going onto the top of a dresser, top of a table, I probably would use gator hide or satin clear coat to, seal my work in. But since I'm gonna be putting this on the side of this little box, I'm not even gonna fuss with sealing it. And I'm leaving the hinges on the side and the handles. We're gonna work around it. This is not a big deal, people. This is work with what you got and get the job done. So what do you need to apply your gel stain? You got a couple different options. I like these. This is a terry cloth applicator pad from Dixie Belle. They make these all over the place. You can find these anywhere. But this is a Dixie Belle one, and I usually cut them in half, and then after I cut them in half, I use half the pad for one project, put the other half, aside, and then use the other half when needed. You don't need to use the whole thing, but do know, since this is an oil-based product, this goes in the garbage after you're done. You cannot wash and reuse them because it's oil-based. So the color I chose today is Walnut. Dixie Belle has released 3 brand new colors recently, like a cedar color, a beautiful darker rich color called chestnut, and one more which is like a lighter blondie color. This walnut is a little bit in the middle, okay? You just dip your applicator pad right there like this inside the container. I've taped, you can see my clear packing tape up here. I've taped it off the fabric. And we're putting bets on if I get gel stain on the fabric. Put your bets in now. I'm gonna go with today. I don't get gel stain where I don't want it to be, but just be prepared. Because once this gets on something, it's pretty darn hard to get off, I'm not gonna lie. So this is a wood box. You're just gonna take your gel stain and wipe it right on top. This video is going to be 5 minutes long because that's legit how long this is gonna take. Not very long at all. You can still see the wood peeking through. I'm gonna go over top of the edges and I'm gonna push that gel stain down into the kind of like little crack that's down here on the bottom of this box. So by wiping on gel stain onto this little box, I'm going to give the wood a refreshed color. I'm gonna hide any stains that might be on there. And you're not gonna be able to see where I sanded off number 1 and then number 2, right? Because there were some painted on numbers on here. Because I did put a chip brush in the floor. And we can kind of like get real close. Oh, maybe we can do it together. Let's use our chip brush to really rub this stain in as close to the edge of the fabric as possible. Where's the suspenseful music when you need it? Because I could use some right now. We're gonna get close. We're gonna get real close. So far, so good. So just using this little chip brush, I'm just gonna push it into the edges where it might be a little harder to wipe it. I like the look of this color of walnut. It's not as dark as an espresso. You're able to really kind of control the amount you're putting on. I'm not over applying this. I'm just kind of really wiping it on one thin coat to get as close to the edge as possible. So now you can see the difference. See this wood on the top? This is not fancy wood. This is like cheap wood. It's not gonna suck in the stain 100% even because I didn't sand it down, right? If you want your stain to be 100% even, Steven, looking beautiful, pristine, and clean, which I never do that look, you need to know that you're going to have to sand your wood down to the very, very naked wood because that is the only way you're going to know that you're gonna get a finish that you're going for. This is going on top of whatever is on top of this wood already without having to fight. And that's why I chose this gel stain. Because I don't want to fuss with, sanding everything down to raw wood. I don't work that way. I'd be fast. Fast and furious. Okay, love that, love that. So now look at this. Now we have stained our wood in what, 5 minutes? 5 minutes. Let's turn this around. Now, we're gonna go around the hinges. I'm gonna show you. You can actually just come in here with cloth and wipe if you get any on there. And I'm not gonna lie, I've done a chest before where I have just went right over top of the metal. And it looked fantastic. So we're just gonna do it this way, wiping it on in the direction of the wood grain, getting it smooshed into those edges, and getting it nice and close to my edges on my hinges. Because listen, if I have to fuss with putting stuff on and off, like hinges and wheels and all of the things, that's gonna make me crazy. and I'm not gonna wanna do it. It never goes on the same way as when you take it off, for me anyways. So let's just get this job done and change this wood and update it. I like this color so much better than that color. And I'm gonna have to use my brush to get in around this one, I think, because there is these little spots right in the middle. And I just wipe it off. Cute, cute, cute. Cute, cute, cute. So this is the other thing you can do with gel stain. If, say you had a spot here that was really damaged and like you had to repair with maybe a wood filler, or you didn't want to, you know, have that unevenness, you can use your brush like this to create a little bit of a thicker application to really cover something. It's up to you. You can really control gel stain when it comes to a brush or a sponge. You're not, you're able to build it, I guess is what I'm saying. You're able to build it up. You're not locked into just using it like a wiped on even finish. Like you can really cover some heavy duty damages. I've covered burns. I've covered areas that I've filled with mud before. It's really helpful, gel stain, for you to use it for coverage. For me, I do. If you need a professional tutorial, if you need a tutorial exactly how to use certain products, especially from Dixie Belle, I have them. Did you know I have a section up on my YouTube? It's called Back to Basics, and it's going to show you step by step all the way from one to done exactly how to use a product, and I have one for gel stain. So if you need a correct tutorial where you're not flying by the seat of your pants, where you're learning step by step, and you have like some serious in-depth questions, I have that too. It's just not this video today. Okay, so this, my friends, let me take off one glove, turn this little box around, and show you what we did. All I did was take this dried out wood that had a painted on number that I gently sanded the numbers. I didn't sand the whole wood, right? Remember, I just sanded the numbers. I want to give it a more industrial vibe, right? There's a corner on here that's eaten by a dog. It's got the industrial hardware. There's little nicks and scratches everywhere. I love that. I would much rather be interesting all day, every day, rather than perfect. My finger's up in there. Now, the edge of this is already darker than the actual wood was. So I don't need to do anything to the edge of this. I was thinking I might have to get in here and actually stain this edge because this wood was so light. I don't have to. It's fine. But do I have junk on my hands now? Yes. Let's just wipe the edges, make sure that there's nothing sitting in there. Go back to my tape and close it gently. Okay, so what's the next step for this little case? Next step is to take the wheels that are made from plastic. Dun, dun, dun. They're not metal. This is not a fancy industrial style chest. This is probably from IKEA chest. That's okay. We're going to clean it with my steam cleaner. That's the next step for this little project. But I'm also going to have to spray paint these wheels because of this failing finish. So I'm going to give them a slight sand to remove anything that's like loose on there, because this paint is kind of like, I bet you $1 million this was made overseas. This is not a quality piece. So I'm going to spray paint these wheels black, pure black, because I don't like the gold color that's on there. It looks like gold gilding wax, and I don't think it needs to be that way. And I'm going to tighten these because when I purchased this, these wheels were rolling around, and I think that's why this is coming off. Do you need to roll around a teeny tiny little stool like this? You do not. You can lock these wheels and they can just pick it up and move it, and then that way it's going to be much more paint safe. So I'll spray paint these in a nice dark color. I will put back on the hardware right here, okay? And I'm going to steam clean the top of this piece. It had that industrial number 1 and 2 in white, which I didn't love. I could do like a number 1 or kind of like apothecary style hardware on here somewhere if I wanted to. But to be honest, I don't know if this little guy needs it, especially since I'm probably just going to be donating it after I'm finished. I'm not going to be keeping it for anything. But what do you think? Gel stain. Simple, simple, simple flips with gel stain. That was so fast, so easy. I didn't have to sand. I don't have to seal it. I can just leave it as it is. And know that my gel stain will dry after probably about 24 hours because it is an oil-based product. The color we use today is called Walnut from Dixie Belle Gel Stain. I put a link in the description if you want to check it out. You use so little of this. Make sure that you put your lids back on tight because these little containers will last you forever today.
After my gel stain has dried, we are going to work on the top of this fabric bench. And let me tell you, when I say that there's stains on this thing, there's dirt, there's stains, and they're ground right in. Don't worry, I have my UWANT steam cleaner, and I'm going to take this and we're going to clean up this tiny bench. Simply fill up the back of your steam cleaner, and then when you do use your steam cleaner, it actually spits out super hot water, so it makes the stains just disappear. My cleaner came with this oxy-like solution, which is for heavy-duty stains. So you spray it on top of the stained area first, and then you use the steam cleaner to clean the stains. It's kind of funny because if you look at this bench, the color is going to turn out completely different when it's clean than what it looks like now. This little stain right here was the one that I was really worried about. I didn't know if it was going to come out, and since it's sitting right there at the front on the corner, I was going to have to work on it. So since I bought this little bench off a marketplace, I'm not really sure what the stains are that are on top of the fabric. I do know that there was a pet in the house, so I'm assuming these are kid and pet stains. So I did clean the entire top of this bench. I sprayed the water from the machine. When you push the little lever, hot water comes out, and then you suck up the dirty water, and you can remove that water and dump it down your sink when you're finished. And I did completely saturate this entire bench so that I would make sure I would get like an even clean across the whole entire thing. But you can really see the difference in the color when the dirty water is getting sucked out of this material. This little section right here is where that stain was. So you spray the water and you suck it up. I did do this area a couple more times than the other spots because of that heavy duty stain that was on the corner. But look at right there, it came out. I put my little bench outside to get dry in the sunshine, and when it was dry, I put the wheels back on the base. For the wheels, I just scuff sanded them and gave them a slight spray paint in a oil rubbed bronze. And while I was working on this bench, I did put up a couple little sneak peeks in my social media, and my friend actually claimed it. She decided that she wanted this bench for her sunroom, so off it went to live at the beach with her. I hope that my project inspires you to try your own DIY project. Don't be afraid of a little hard work, a little cleaning, and some Dixie Belle paint products. What do you think of the final result? I am so surprised at how great this little bench looks. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. New tutorials are posted weekly.